Hello and welcome to the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Nina Adio, a social media marketing expert specific to the wedding industry. On this show, I discuss tips to help you DIY your social media, as well as getting the confidence and income to outsource it. Thank you for allowing this episode to come through on your Bluetooth, your car radio, wherever it may be you're listening from today. Now, let's take your wedding business to the next level. Hello, everybody. Happy Wedding Wednesday, and welcome back to the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. It has been a very busy few weeks for me here. If this is your first time here, by the way, hello, my name is Nina. I'd love to hear how you discovered the show. So be sure to send me a message on Instagram or your social media platform of choice. You should find me on all of them. It's been pretty busy because this time of year, a lot of educational opportunities come up for the wedding industry. So as we get into the fall, as well as post holidays, there may be some retreats, some conferences, conventions, items like that come up when we are not in the peak of wedding season. But I'm also busy because for full service social media, people are preparing for engagement season, which is coming up in November. We're already at the end of September, which means you kind of have just October to get your ducks in a row. And I feel that from my inquiries. So it's a really busy and exciting time for me here. If getting on to my calendar is something you would like to do, whether it's for full service social media management or to do a strategy call or Instagram audit, you can see all of that at my website at idoweddingmarketing.com. Or if you're looking for something more passive that you can do yourself, I have the ChatGPT for Wedding Marketing course and the Engage to Engagement workshop. And both of those things will really put you in the driver's seat for DIYing your marketing. But what I want to talk about today is another aspect of really DIYing your marketing or being in control of your network, of your outreach, of the people you're working with, cuz your vendor relations can be a huge part of how you market to other couples. It's through your relationship with vendors. So today, what I wanted to talk about is local networking groups for wedding industry professionals. And I'm going to make a corresponding download or blog post to go along with this episode. So I will leave a link in the show notes for you to download that. So I'm going to try to focus on things that I think would be specifically beneficial for members of the wedding industry, because we could get into other business groups that are for businesses of all kinds. And let's see how this episodes go, and then maybe we'll consider doing another one. Okay. So the first one is WIPA, which is the Wedding International Professionals Associations. And this is a not for profit association that provides industry education for its members. So this year I had my first opportunity to speak at a digital WIPA workshop. And that was a lot of fun. And that is something that all members get access to. So, right out the gate, I know that once a month, you get a free workshop from wedding industry professionals that the big people of WIPA who are at the top are booking. So they're getting you really good people, because that's going out to all of the chapters. So within your own chapter, you are going to have even more resources. There's going to be events to attend, the local member directory, and you're going to be able to make a lot of great contacts. So, to become a WIPA member, they have different membership tiers, but with the application fee and the annual dues, you're looking at approximately $400 to start with. But when you put that into an expense for the year and what you're going to get out of it, I think it's going to be a really great thing for you. Also, I want to note that for WIPA, you're going to find a lot of chapters. There are things that are in the Northeast, Southeast, Midwest, all over. We have Utah, Las Vegas, Cincinnati, Ireland, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Phoenix. I'm just reading some off as I see them. So you can explore to see if they have a chapter that is within relevant distance for you. So you want people where those are vendors who would be servicing weddings you service. They're in that same area. So you want to make sure it's in a reasonable driving distance for you to attend the events and for you to network. And if there isn't a chapter, you can look into chapters and formation and perhaps even starting a new chapter. Next up, let's talk about the National Association for Catering and Events. You may see this sometimes on Instagram as NACE, NACE. And what's great about NACE is that it can really go beyond just weddings. We're talking about catering and events as a whole, and that, of course, also includes weddings, but it also includes a lot of other things. And the price is about the same that you would experience with WIPA, where it is around between $300 to $400 for your annual membership. So when you divide that by 12 months, that's not so bad. You want to really view it as an annual thing and what you're getting out of it. So like WIPA, they have chapters all across the country, from Illinois, Maryland, Massachusetts, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania. I'm scrolling as I go, Wisconsin, Texas. So they are all over the place. For example, the New York chapter is a New York and New Jersey chapter. So we are both kind of in there together, which is, I think, very relevant, because as you experience with your own areas, there is sometimes a crossover of where people will service. And it's also great to network with people who aren't always in your direct area. So when I'm collaborating with a venue that is, let's say, in Long Island, New York, and a venue that is far off in Upper New Jersey, they're dealing with similar demographics but different. And it's just a good place to compare notes where you're not doing it with a direct competitor. So that can be really beneficial too. So I will have nace.net linked down below so you can also look into those chapters. I mean, specifically if you are a caterer, if you do corporate event plannings, or maybe you do items more so like things that can be used at events of all kinds. So you're doing a photo booth, DJ entertainment, food, things like that. This is a great place to be. So have you guys been taking notes? How are we doing? Because I have at least two more I want to go into. And right now I want to tell you about the ABCs with this, which is the Association of Bridal Consultants. And this one is a little different. Of course, it is mainly directed towards bridal consultants. It caters to couples too, where couples can find a wedding professional through using ABC Wedding Professionals, which is really cool. And also, rather than chapters, what they have are state managers. So they will be able to represent ABC on a local level. So even though these aren't chapters, they do have state representation, and they have meetings and webinars that you can attend. So some of the information that you'll be able to get from being an ABC member, just looking on the site, I'm pulling this off, all about styled shoots. I mean, that's happening today from 7 to 8. They're having meetups for different areas, so you will see all of that listed in the events page. So they'll be done by state, they'll be done by online webinar. So you're getting the best of both worlds still. You have like with WIPA, the online events that anyone can go to. And then you also have the local events where you can network with people in your space. Lastly, I want to talk about your local chamber of commerce. Now, I did state at the beginning that I was keeping this wedding specific and wedding focused, but I do see a lot of benefit for wedding industry professionals to be listed within their chamber of commerce. Now, my stance on this is perhaps a little biased from when I was working with venues and as I work with venues now, because I see the interaction and I see how the chamber gives back to them because they are a member. So when I am posting an event for a venue that's a member of their chamber of commerce and one who isn't, the one who is gets their event reposted and reshared and sent out, well, the one who isn't doesn't get that same love. But what I also see is that the chamber will host events at that venue, and when they are booking for events, they are going to consider chamber members first, and that kind of happens internally within members. So, just by looking at my own local chamber of commerce, of course, we mentioned wedding venues, which is an obvious one, but some other types of businesses I am seeing here that are wedding relevant are hotels, taxis, hair and makeup. We are also seeing, of course, the restaurants, but if you do a food truck, a wine bar, they're listed on my local chamber. So there's a lot that you can do or network and be a part of through your local chamber. So I wanted to put that out there as another option for you to consider. Well, these other entities I mentioned, or these other organizations, groups, chapters, they're very industry specific, where your chamber is going to be really specific to your location. So that could be a positive or that could be a negative. If you don't have a WIPA, Rising Tide, or any of these other groups in your area, then maybe you want to start within the Chamber of Commerce. And as I mentioned, many of these groups have Facebook groups or pages that you can join before you do your membership to kind of see the benefits. Or you could look into joining some local groups and ask in there what they think of these paid membership groups, and you can get some honest feedback. I think they are a great place to go for industry education, industry networking, and building community, especially if you are new and especially if you are craving to get some of that interaction with industry people. Then this can really benefit your business. Perhaps we'll do a part 2 on this where we talk about how to leverage your networking for your business. Let me know if that would interest you. Send me a message on Instagram, Facebook, like I said before, your social media platform of choice, and let me know what you would want to know about how to leverage networking groups for your business. But that's going to be a wrap on this one. I'm going to post this episode and get that blog post up where you can find all of the links mentioned here. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next week.